Hello, and welcome along to the stream tonight. This is my first stream back in a couple of weeks, so for a couple of reasons, I wasn't able to make it the last 2 weeks, but back to some sort of normal cadence for now. Hello, Nils in the chat room. Good to have you along. In terms of what we're working on tonight, there's a bug been identified in GitReleaseManager. So the thought process was that I was going to come on to the stream and we were going to investigate what was going on, because this is an issue that's been reported by both Geert and Jeremy. Charlie's also having the issue. So the thought process was that I was going to come on the stream tonight. I was going to sit down, debug it, figure out what the problem was, and then hopefully ship a new version. Now that's completely gone out the window because Nils today, just this morning, has figured out what the problem is. Thank you very much for the raid, Freestyle Coder. I appreciate it. We're just getting started here. Just stating that we're going to be looking into a bug that was reported on GitReleaseManager, which is one of the tools that I work on. So, as I was just saying, that Nils, who's in the chat room as well, has identified what the problem is, and he's got a PR up to fix it. So I'm basically going to go through the motions of testing this out, make sure it's working, and then assuming that it is all working, ship out a release. So this, hello Patrick, how's it going? So this issue, it's been automatically marked as with the label bug, which it is. I'm going to take off the investigating label for now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new milestone, which is going to be the 0.12.1 milestone, because we're going to put this out as a bug fix release. And I'm going to hopefully be able to assign this to Nils, who has picked it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to do a git checkout minus b, and I'm going to call this a hotfix branch of 0.12.1. I'm going to take that from the master branch and just be, oh no, I won't do that. I was going to say I'm going to push it, but we won't. I was going to upgrade GitHub client before I do anything else as well. Do that. I had a feeling I was out of date. They've shipped a new 2.0 release of the GitHub CLI. So if you haven't checked that out, I would definitely encourage you to take a look. So what I was going to do is I was going to do GHPR list, so I can see all the open PRs are on this repository. And if I do GHPR checkout 400, that's Nils. That's Nils's. That's always struggle with that. That's Nils's PR that has the fix in it. So what I'm going to do with that one is I'm going to rebase that one onto the hotfix branch from the develop branch, because I'm going to assume that that's where it was targeting. Let's have a quick look at that. So yeah, it was targeting the develop branch. So let's just pull that over onto the hotfix branch. And then if we do a quick sanity check of what I just did there, then here's my master branch, which is the hotfix branch. And then that one's pulled up there. So then if I do a git push -f, that'll push it back to Nils's PR branch. And then, oh, I will need to push that then. So then we go over here, we do a git checkout dash git push upstream. Then what we should be able to do is in this PR, I should be able to retarget that at the hotfix branch. Ready to go. There we go. That's back to the beginning. So let's put us to a point where we can do something. So what I was playing with just before the stream started was I went to try and replicate the problem, make sure that the solution will work. So over here in VS Code, what I did was I created a very simple build.cake file. That build.cake file brings in the NuGet package for Git Release Manager, and this is kind of where the problem starts. So Git Release Manager NuGet package has an issue, but if we were to use the Git Release Manager .NET Global tool, we don't have an issue. So this is specifically the problem with the NuGet package version, and we'll need to mention that in the issue to let folks know that maybe they want to think about switching to the .NET Global tool version of Git Release Manager. But effectively what I've done here, simple build .cake file. This is not going to work because I'm not passing in a valid token or anything like that. But what it will highlight, if I come back down here and I go into my terminal and I run I can type. If I run .NET Cake, I'm not sure why it's not showing up properly. But if I run .NET Cake, then we'll see that we get an exception, and that exception is reflection type load exception, unable to find one or more of the requested assemblies. So that's the bug. And if we go into here and do what Nils has done in the PR, I'm just going to borrow this exe.config. I'm going to put it into this location. And if I run that again, we'll still get an exception, but we'll get a different exception. So we can then see it actually executing Git Release Manager. It's going into here, and what it's saying is bad credentials. So effectively what I've said, like I said before, this is not a valid set of username and password for an organization and repository on GitHub, so it's failing. But it's actually executing Git Release Manager where it was failing before. So the issue really is that in the 0.12.0 release of Git Release Manager, we brought in an assembly binding redirect, or an assembly binding redirect was brought in for us, likely automatically by Visual Studio. And as a result of that, because this exe.config is not included in the NuGet package that's published, the assembly binding redirect isn't there to be executed. So when the application runs, it can't forward the request for this system.threading.tasks.extensions to 4.2.0, so it fails. So that's the bug, and that's what we need to fix. So what Nils did was, if we go back into his pull request, then we'll see that in the new spec file. Now, the reason that we're doing this is because we want to take a little bit more ownership of what goes into the NuGet package. So rather than using .NET Pack, because it would result in a package that contained all of the TFMs that are contained within the project. We don't want that. We only want kind of the full fat framework version of it. So that's why we take a little bit more ownership of the new spec file directly. And what we were missing was this entry, which was to include any config files that are generated as part of the build. So what Nils has done is he's put in this line. So this line looks good to me. I'm going to say that that looks good to me, and we should be able to approve that, submit it. So that should allow us to do the merge into the hotfix branch, and then from there we can walk the process of doing the release. So that's the intention for tonight. The intention is that we get this shipped and we fix the bug so that folks can start using it. So I'm just going to wait for those CI builds code to finish. Now what I was going to do is, if I go back to this issue, I'm going to write some more information on the... That's interesting then. Why running using this cake.core CLR? No, cake.core CLR, but using the full fat framework version of... Doesn't make any sense. In the same version of Git Release Manager, I also confirm the problem goes away by reverting. That makes sense. Revert. So let's just have a quick look at Zoom.net, Jeremy's repository. Let's see what he's doing. Oh, actually, go back. Tool, NuGet. So it is GitReleaseManager that's being used here. So on Jeremy's one anyway, that's definitely the problem. Now, did Charlie have? Charlie would have been using it on one of his NUnit repositories. For a quick look, see. Might not have links to it. That's unfortunate. Oh, that's searching. Sure. What their cake file. In there. Over there. So we search here for. Sure. Oh, we're not using it with it. Search the organization. Yes, we can. Code. Find one project loader. Look in this project. They have tools. Build.cake file. Here we go. Git release manager command line. Oh no, that one should have worked. It would cake calls git release manager.exe and currently never the .NET tool. No, that's not true. That's not true. We changed that, didn't we? Hey Augusto, how's it going? No, we changed that. I'm almost convinced. I'm convinced that we changed that. If I didn't, I meant to. So source, common, tools, git release manager tool. Then in here, yes. So it will prefer the git release manager.exe, but it will also call the shims that are created for the .NET Global tool as well. So is that what you were saying? Cake calls git release manager.exe and currently never the .NET tool. So no, it will. If it doesn't find the git release manager.exe, it will defer to the .NET Global tool as well. So it should work, but so at least in Jeremy's one, the problem is exactly the same thing because he's using the Git Release Manager package. And what I could see in here, they're using the. Oh, that's Git version. I read that wrong. Sorry. So yes, Charlie is using the same Git Release Manager package on NuGet, so that's the same problem. Yes, it would. But so what I'm saying is, Charlie's issue is exactly the issue that we've solved. Jeremy's issue is exactly the issue that we've solved. But according to Geert, he's doing something a little bit stranger. He's using cake.core CLR. So what I don't know, what we'd have to go and check, I don't know why, we might have to have a wee chat with Geert to see why he's still using cake.core CLR as the runner. But that's a job for a different day. But if we go in and look at Geert stuff, and we look at, he has a repository that he keeps all of his build infrastructure in, and then he uses that over and over again in multiple places. So where would, there's the YAML file. Of course, wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in there. Deployment cake. a lot of stuff going on in here. Are we searching here for git release code? Okay, so no, it is. So he's using the same NuGet package, or he was attempting to use the same NuGet package with 0.12.0, and that's going to fail because of the issue that we're seeing. Okay, so even though he's using, well, actually, let's look at his bootstrapper. .NET. No, he is using, or at least in this template, is using .NET Global Tool of Cake 1.2. Okay, so I'm going to assume that we have identified what the problem is, and I'm going to write some notes in. So, huge thanks to Nils for finding the underlying problem here. This didn't come up in the initial testing that was done prior to shipping 0.12.0 due to the fact I was testing with .NET Global Tool version of GitReleaseManager. The problem that we are seeing here is specific to the full fat .NET framework version of the tool that is shipped to NuGet.org. Namely, this one. Get a link to it. Copy, paste. We are way to publish v 0.12.1 release of Git release manager, which should fix this. Okay. So we were waiting there on the PR build, so that this one, and we closed it. So let's check this all worked. It did. So I approved it. And this is Nils' first time contributor to the Git Release Manager project. What we'll have to do here is say, Nils, thank you very much for your help in identifying underlying issue here, and huge congratulations on your first time contribution to this. Really. So we can say a comment there. And then we're going to go ahead and merge this. Okay, so we've merged that. The linked PR, or the linked issue, is this one. So it's marked as bug. It's on a milestone. We should be able to go ahead and close this out. And then if we go back to here, do a git fetch upstream, git rebase, work, rebase upstream. Oh, that's really not gonna work. A lot of letters there. Git rebase upstream, hotfix, go. So then if we do a git checkout master, git merge no ff from the hotfix branch. So from there I should be able to do a build.ps1 with target equals release notes. And that'll help us generate a set of release notes for this release. He says. Looks like I'm on an older version of Cake for this project. Good thing that Teus is not on the stream tonight, otherwise he would have been shouting at me. Interestingly, this is doing a dog fooding of GitReleaseManager to generate the release notes for the new release of GitReleaseManager. That's why it's taken a while longer than I would have normally expected. But it's basically doing a build of the project to then run the generated assets against the what I'm trying to do to generate the release notes. So we set it up. It was actually Kim that set it. It was actually Kim that set it up this way so that we know if we've broken something, right? Because we can't generate the release notes for our own release that we're trying to create. Let's see if it works. I got a very interesting parcel in the post today. I think Patrick, who's in the chat room, got the same one. So I got a delivery from GitHub with some more swag in it, which I really wasn't expecting. And I've seen some other GitHub stars on Twitter tweeting about what they got as well. Really very cool. I'm not sure how much I'm allowed to say, but folks have been saying that they've got stuff. I just don't know if we're allowed to say everything that came along. But until I know for a fact what I'm allowed to say, I'm just going to say I got a box. So with that done, it generated the release notes, or at least claimed that it's generated the release notes. So if we go and look over here and we look at releases, then we have a 0.12.1 release, which has the bug, which is reflection type load exception thrown when initializing automapper. So that's the bug. We fixed the bug. So what we should be able to do then is we should be able to do a git push upstream. Yes, exactly, Patrick. But I saw that Daniel Bagder sent a tweet about the mug that he got in the parcel. So I can say at least there was a mug. I haven't seen any of the other things going across the internet yet. But it's a fancy mug with the GitHub logo on it, and it's a USB. You plug it into USB, and it keeps your coffee or tea warm, which I can't use because I don't drink tea or coffee. But I'm going to pass it over to my wife and see if she wants to use it. So if we do a git checkout of the develop branch, we should be able to do a git merge noff of the hotfix branch. And then we should be able to do a git push upstream. Warm iron brew, Francis. That's just a terrible idea. Is that not? That's like sacrilegious as well. Come on now. Calm yourself. But yeah, Patrick had the same idea. No. I won't be drinking hot iron brew. So that was the hotfix merge. So we should be able to do a git branch -d of the hotfix branch. That's ready to go. And then the only ones that are left are my that 399. That old branch must be 399. Yeah, that's merged already, so we don't need that one. We can delete that one too. Git branch -d bug fix. Wrong first letter. Hit tab. Go. Git branch back to just master and develop. There we go. So with that done, assuming all the CIs pass, I can't remember whether actions we've got or whether it is. Okay, it is. So branch. That failed the build. Doesn't bode well. Wait and see that they all pass or fail. Why did that one fail? Iron Brew is the golden nectar of the soft drink gods, Patrick. I'll have you know. Not a valid version. I'm going to assume that that was a glitch in the matrix, and I'm not going to worry about that one. So if this all goes well, and we're able to ship 0.12.1, what should we do for the remainder of the time tonight? Because we might actually have some spare time as opposed to running out of time. So if there's any suggestions on what we should work on, I am all ears. That was a party icon from Geert. That's good. So Geert's listening out. So that's good. Should hopefully be able to take advantage of this once it's shipped. That was a PR. That one anymore. Need to do. Oh, it did work. Okay, so it was just a glitch. Just a glitch. I did notice that there was a bunch of pull requests into GitReleaseManager for bumping some of the dependencies. Also noticed that there's all a bunch of failing builds. Oh, that bear build failed. Bear build. Git version has a bug. Your head has moved. I've seen that error before as well. I ran into. Oh, hold on. Maybe something we can look into. I saw that you'd done something into that repository. Add recommended tags. Build failed. Let's bring it in. Always have a look at that, yeah. Does it build locally for you, Nils? Or is it just on CI that it's failing? 2 errors. Error at. It does build locally. Oh, it could be. It's been a while since I've looked at that repository, but something did just occur to me. Look. Yeah, I would bump this as a first course of action. I'd be bumping that to 2019. So it's got some of the newer bits on it. That would be where I would start, just to rule that one out. There we go. I suspect it's the same thing. I would slip that into your PR just to see if it can be bumped along. A minute, I'm imagining you've just got spec, recipe. Yeah, I would be inclined to give that a try. I would just add as a new commit onto this PR, and then we can move forward with that. Because I know that who was it that created this one? I've got in my head that it was Richie that did it. I'm almost convinced that Richie's got no problem with us getting this one updated. Is this you starting at the top of the list and working your way down? Because that's been on my list for a while to start going through the extensions, getting them updated. And that's the one from this one is always the. It's always been. I've always looked at it and I've always went. I'll start it, but I've never done it yet. It would be good to start rattling through those and then also capturing the changes that are being made, so that you can just pick one up and start going through. So once we've got kind of a here's the routine for getting the add-ins updated, other folks can pick them up and run with it as well. It would be good to, as Jeremy mentioned the other day, it would be good to get that number that support cake.tool and 1.2.0. Get that number of add-ins increased. So I would give that a try. Okay, so that's interesting. The develop branch finished before the master branch did. Let's maybe doing more stuff. Master branch. And if this works, then we, oh, it did, it worked. So we should go, we can now go to that release and mark this as ready to go. So we should be able to publish that release. Now this is something actually that I think we've added an issue for this, but GitReleaseManager currently doesn't have the option for enabling this setting, which is to create a discussion for the release. I think that would be a good addition to GitReleaseManager to allow on the creation of the release on GitHub to include the option as to whether a discussion should be created for it as well. I think this would be a great value add. But for now, I'm just going to say that we're going to publish that release. I get lots of Slack messages coming through saying that things have happened. So if we go back over to GitHub Actions, it's now running that tagged build. Fingers crossed all of the API keys are up to date, and if they are, we should be able to, or we'll get a release made and everything will get pushed out. So fingers crossed. We go up to here. Oh, look, Nils is added in a new commit that bumps the version number. See if we'll monitor this build as well while we're here. I suspect that this is using an older version of cake.recipe as well, is it? 2 years ago. It's not too far out of date, but it's not the latest, I don't think. Oh no, it is. I forgot what number we were on. Yeah, we need to get that updated at some point. It's one of the things we need to add to the list to know that we need to get up to version. I did notice when I was building GitReleaseManager locally that I was getting lots of warnings about 2.1 not being supported anymore. I'm assuming that one of the TFMs that we've got is specifically for, yeah. So it doesn't really like this anymore. Probably look to, in the next release, bumping that to remove that and possibly, I guess, target .NET 5. Is that what we do now? Do we just target .NET 5? What's the, for a tool like this? If Patrick, are you still on? I wonder what are you doing for the likes of Spectre Console? What's your TFMs? Curious as to what's expected. Oh, did it get further? I think it did, didn't it? Last one didn't get past Git version. Is that right? It got past, oh no, it was the .NET Core build. So let's clean .NET Core build. Oh, it's already getting past that. Okay, so that was the issue then. Oh, so that's, yes, so that makes sense. So for Spectral Console, you're still targeting net standard, but for an app, so would it be a case of, would this just become net 5 and leave it at that? It feels like a breaking change. Well, it is a breaking change, but what it feels, maybe should Git Release Manager go to a 1.0 release and leaving it where it is, or maybe net 3.1 is still supported, yes. But what I was thinking about, so because we're only at a 0.12, I was wondering whether what we should do is release a 1.0 release of Git Release Manager where it is, and then have a 2.0 release where we start playing with TFMs to kind of bring it up to date. So I'll have to think about that one, where we're going to go with it. And then what have we got for the full fat framework version? Full fat framework is net 472, and then those two. So that could be 4.8 as well. Could bump that to 4.8, and then 3.1 and net 5. Oh, do so little time. What action? Still building. The alias equal build finished nils. I'm sure you've seen that as well. So that was the fix. Are you looking for a thumbs up on this PR? I could do that while we're waiting as well. So this is for H35 and 36. Holding down the button there. Let's go back. Fun. Update cake alias equal NuGet package icon to the new cake contrib logo for add-ins. I think that's a great idea. And then add cake add-in tag to alias equal NuGet package. I think that's a great idea too. So the changes that have come along for the ride are pumping that one. So that's good. Come back to that one in a second. Now, why did we turn off the, oh, because we've got a new spec file. No, oh no, we added it in. Sorry, I read that completely wrong. So we've added in the running of the .NET Core pack, yes. That can come off when we go to 2.0 because we flipped that bit, I think, if I remember correctly. So we removed the new spec file. So let's just have a quick sanity check of what we've done. Allowed output extension in package builder, package build output folder. I forget what that's for. Oh, for the inclusion of the PDBs. Right, okay. So authors are Richard Simpson, also known as Richie Coder on Twitter. So authors alias equal Apache license, which is Apache, yes. GitHub Git contrib, that's the repository URL. It's a Git repository. Package source is from there. Owners and summary. I wasn't looking to see what was owners and summary. Yes, they are missing. I was looking to see, I was doing a sanity check between the two of them. Package requires acceptance false, 2016 to present. Is that what the copyright was? And tags. And then we've added in the add-in analyzer and the cake contrib guidelines packages. All good to me. So we'll leave a note here. And also add owner and summary element to the ES project. Summary is deprecated, is it? So what do you use instead? CS proj description. Okay. Set properties. Packages optional description displayed in is either pulled from the description used in the or pull file. So do we already have a description? Oh, description there. Oh, so owners and description are missing. Is that what we're saying? Oh no, description's there too. So what are you saying is missing? Owners cannot be set. It will be automatically set after upload to the feed. Alright, okay, I'll remove this comment. Oh, so they've consolidated that because there was always a mismatch between the owners in the new spec file and the actual owners in the gallery. Automod. Oh, I'm going to let your message through. Augusto, it was getting blocked there for a second. Copy, paste it here. Oh, that didn't work. Copy, try that again. Go. Summary is being deprecated. Use description instead. There you go. When uploading a package, you get this summary field is limited to 4,000 characters. This is something I know only too well because this happened on chocolatey.org as well. Interesting. Okay. And then what does it say here for the owners then? Owners. Replacement tokens, fine. Owners is deprecated, use authors instead. So authors is there, right? Comma separated list of package creators using profile names on NuGet.org. This is often the same list as in authors. And then you would add there's always been a mismatch between the two, but based on what you were saying there, Nils, owners cannot be set. It will be automatically set after upload to the feed. Not entirely sure what you mean by that. But got a link, that would be good. But then other than that, then this all looks good to me. I'm going to say that now I haven't looked at the generated package to see what it includes though. If we were to go over here and look at artifacts, then here we get a nutcag. And then if we go and have a look in here, give us lib folder, we've got a net46, net standard 2.0, what we had previously. And then in here, we've got a PDB and the XML file, and we've got a PDB and XML file. All of that looks good. So I'm not actually sure if it is Richie Coder on, or maybe it is, if that's his handle on, what's that? Package. Get there in the on there. Where is it? It's just Richie Coder. Only got 2 packs. I would have thought you would have more than that. I know he's done a lot of work in open source. So let's go back and have a look here. Go back to see if our action actually worked. Oh, it did. I missed a tweet. Hold on. Did it send out a tweet? Hold on. Didn't send a tweet. Why did it not send a tweet? Hold on. Lots of stuff. I don't think this is what I want like that. Shooting. Did that not send? Because there was one when we did the 0.12.0 release. That would explain it. Huh. It does the publish to NuGet and to Chocolatey, but it doesn't do. I don't have the secrets in place for sending out a tweet. Fortunate, but assuming that it got okay, that doesn't bode well. community.chocolatey.org/packages/GitReleaseManager. .portable. Doesn't bode well either. Didn't do the publish. On. Project again. Did the package, did the uploading of the artifacts. Uploading artifacts is currently not supported in cake.recipe. That's unfortunate as well. Read issues. Publish. Oh, what? I think we're on an older version of cake.recipe, so it hasn't got the fixes in place for doesn't have the fixes in place for knowing if it's a tagged branch on GitHub Actions or not. No, that's not the case either. I thought we fixed that issue. Go back. Oh. Oh. Well, hold on. That must mean that we have still an AppVer build running there. Let's just check that out. tools, GitReleaseManager, history. Okay, hold on. Maybe jumped the gun a little bit. I thought we'd moved everything over to GitHub Actions completely, but it's still using AppVeyor as the preferred CI system for doing the publishing. So we have to wait for this build to finish. Assuming it completes successfully, then we should get tweets and publishing, etc. But while I'm waiting on that, if we go back to here, then the authors was still Richard Simpson. So what are we saying here? Are we going to go and should we fix that, or should we just say that we'll leave it as is for now? No, I think we should. I think we should take the opportunity of it. So I'm going to leave a comment here. Should change this to okay. I'll leave a don't here. Can we create a NuGet.org usernames dot a lot of authors in here. Comma separated list of matching the profile name. Copy that. Other than that, we'll good. Proof. This is targeting the develop branch. We assign this to a release. Didn't look here. We are at version 0.70, so that would make it 0.80, and it's to 0.0. Thought that fine, and then this one well. Go and say merge it. That's then close. Go. AppVeyor CI build is still running. Coming up on the hour. Make this finish before we get way too far off from what we're doing. Ooh, I had to buy a new keyboard. I bought a new version of the Sculpt because my old version of the Sculpt, some of the keys stopped working on it. I was quite annoyed, but I've replaced it with a new version. Exact same keyboard, just all the keys work now. Treated myself to a new one. Sad day. Had that Sculpt for a long time. the build is actually finished. I think it's just doing the final updating of the. I forget which way they. After this, the final tear down will happen. Get in there. It's always annoying just waiting for the build to finish. I got a Logitech keys for home. And what's a Logitech keys, Francis? The wireless illuminated keyboard. Is that what we're looking at? I think it. But I got a notification there from Slack. So something happened. Oh, Twitter. No, that was me. Up there. Oh, it failed. No. That was unrelated. Oh, hold on. Good. No valid version found for future. What does that mean? I think the build failed. Build failed. Why did it fail? Dang it. All publishing tasks have been attempted. So it fell over when it failed to upload to coveralls. This website is under heavy load. Too many people are accessing this website. So it didn't upload to coveralls, that's fine. It didn't do the closing of the milestone, or did it? Oh, it did. So it did that, and then if we go over here, packages / GitReleaseManager, then hopefully once it's indexed, that's a good sign. It's a good sign because before, when we attempted to access that, it went to the page with a little yellow banner. That is an indication that there is a package there. It's just not been listed yet. And if we go over here and look at GitReleaseManager Portable, then hopefully in the version history, yes, we do. So it's pending automated review. I've just got an email through saying that 12.1 is there. Happy days. So the one thing that's missing then is, well, actually, git releasemanager.tool is there also. Okay, cool. So we did that. So the only thing that's missing is the tweet. Oh no, that's a lie. Oh, we changed that as well, didn't we? We made it so that the tweet will go out. Interesting. Why? No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm slightly confused. I'm going to have to go and look. So in the tools folder here, under cake.recipe, yes, that's the tweet I'm looking at as well, but it doesn't have version number, and I'm wondering if we have broken something there. Oh no, we've removed the version number. Oh, that was a what's the word I'm looking for? that was a compromise that we made, because the default message within cake.recipe includes not so much the short in it. The default cake.recipe is all about add-ins. So because we're not shipping an add-in at this point, we added our own customized version of the Twitter message. But at this point, when we are instantiating the set parameters, we don't know what the version number is. So we can't actually pass the version number in to the message because we don't know what it is. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but it's not terrible. And I think looking at the message that was from the 31st of May, I think that was a custom message that I created. Am I sure about what? Which part? The fact that I can't get access to the version number? I mean, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong on that. I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Hold on then. Let me look at the. Let's look at the CI build. Because I think we message when we are setting the parameters. Yeah, that's all the creation of the parameters, and then we've got the setup. So what I would need to remember is at which stage it gets created. If we go back into, and close that one out now, back into here and have a look at the, might be easier to look at this in cake.recipe project. So what we do in here is we output a bunch of stuff, and that bunch of stuff is, oh no, that's from the call to print parameter, so that's not the one we want. But I mean, that's if we have that information, then yes, but I'm not convinced that we have that information. So let me. Oh, you do it all right. Okay, hold on. If you can, hold on. I'm more than happy to be proved wrong here, by the way. Version 00 has just been released. Standard notification message. Hold on. Hold on. That seems altogether too easy, but hold on. Information. I'm going to need to fix that now. I see that. That's a spelling mistake. I need to fix. I don't know why I came into gear just now. Twitter. No, Twitter won't actually help. It's in the setup and teardown that I'm looking for, isn't it? You know what? Getting bored of this. github.com/contrib/cake.recipe. I'm not sure if you did, to be honest, because I've maybe just been lazy. I was maybe just lazy in the GitReleaseManager one, but I search in here for Twitter. I'm really starting to get used to having github.dev now for certain things. It's really quite oh, hold on. It's right within cake.recipe itself. So this is being used within cake.recipe itself for its Twitter message. So let's just confirm where that's being used. Twitter message is there. Twitter message. Twitter message. So look at that. Send message to Twitter is a string.format of the Twitter message with the version number and the title. Alright then, we're going to need to go and fix that because I want to have that version number in there. So there's a couple of things we need to fix. The first was, okay, hold on. It sent the message. Well, no, that's the other thing I wanted to check. When did it send the message? In the teardown, publish release packages. So that's why it sent the message. So the overall build failed, but the publish release packages was successful, meaning that it got the packages out to NuGet or to chocolatey.org. So that's why it sent the message. So that's good to know as well. Like I say, there's been multiple iterations of cake.recipe and keeping up with it is hard. But it will now send a tweet and getter and all those things if the publishing step happened correctly. So even in the case of R1, where the overall build failed because it wasn't able to upload to coveralls, it would still send the tweet that says things happened correctly. Now, before I go back and do anything, I need to go and look at something I saw Francis. Oh, there's a. How do I think you're currently somehow marked as a. The links coming through from your goose are being marked in the mod area. I don't know how I can mark you as being. I'm going to add you as a friend, and then I want to also mark you as a trusted person for sending links, but I don't know why it's doing that. So I've just added one of the ones that I don't know if it'll flow through into the chat now, but I just a bot. No, I was going to go back to what Francis was talking about with regard to what I think was Nils's keyboard. Oh, hold on, what's that? I feel I'm getting distracted here. So let's have a look. The keyboard IO, Keyboardio, model 100. Reorder now. So have you got this already, or when was that? Treated myself to this one. Oh, but still waiting for it. Status updated August the 5th, 2021. So what, last month? Sending out sending out key switch and key. Oh, so it's looks shiny though, doesn't it? So I mean, would I be able to? What's the split of the keys? What are these lower four? What keys are those? What's this thing? What is this? What's this thing here do? Two of them. What's that? Maybe watch the video. Works with it. Best keyboard ever. Typing. That's a space button. This one here is a. Oh, maybe. Okay. Oh yeah, similar I guess, because the sculpt's got. That's the space. There's two separate buttons for the space on the sculpt, and those four are mappable. Interesting. Bigger. Curious now. So Control, Delete, Command, Shift, Alt. Oh, I don't like the enter there. No. Thanks for hanging out, Patrick. Thank you very much. Yes, you're more than welcome every Monday. I'm assuming I'm here. I'm not sure if I like. What's that? No, I'm not sure if I like this one, Nils. I'm sorry. That's a bit too different. Put this back. The palm buttons. The palm. Oh, I see. So you're on the key and then you kind of push. Oh, they're mechanic. Is that? Did I just read mechanical? Nah, I'm out. I'm out. I don't want mechanical. You're clickety clackety. Nah, nah. Don't like it. I'm already put off, Nils. Functionally, I think it looks pretty cool, but yeah, it's nah, not mechanical for me. Well, I like those. I like the feet though. I like that. Oh, what's this? What's going on here? He just hung his keyboard over the side of his desk. Yeah, okay. Oh, you take it with you. You got a little bag, fully mappable. Free carry case, free switch puller. Nah, nah. Looks pretty good though. I, I mean, on the surface, I mean, I like the idea of it. But did you go for the one keyboard? I would have thought you went for one. Pledged 3,000 or more. One of a kind model 100. That's a lot for a keyboard, to be fair. 3 people bought it. Are you kidding me? We will collaborate with you to create the Model 100 of your dreams, your favourite switches, your custom engraved keycap legends, and your choice of wood for the enclosure. That's a lot of money, to be fair. That's $3,000 on a keyboard. I take it they succeeded in their Kickstarter. That's a lot. That's a lot of pennies. I hope it arrives for you though. I hope it arrives. Where did we get to? What was I doing? We did the release. The release is out. So what we were going to do was update. Oh, the spelling mistake. There was a spelling mistake in cake.recipe that's going to bug me. So we need to search for this in the cake.recipe code base. So finish with that. We can. That's a build log. We're finished with that. We're doing. I need to do that later. That was me doing updates. So if we go over here and look at, let's go to GitHub organizations. I'm going to Chocolatey today. Cake contrib and cake.recipe. And let's go in here. Actually, git fetch upstream. Git base upstream. Upstream develop. Oh, because Nils moved a bunch of stuff. That's why it's complaining. Git push origin. Git clean minus xfd. Go, and then if we go in code this time round, yes, press that, and then we do a wee search for that. Then we find the word successfully spelt with too many C's. See if we've got multiple instances of that. Have well, happening. Email sent successfully. Shock. Over here, we're going to say paint fix spelling mistake. I'm going to say that we change that to that. extra C. Yes. There we should do Git upstream. And Git origin. Right, I feel better now because once you've seen a spelling mistake like that, you can't unsee it, so you need to fix it. We did that, and then the other thing we were going to do was we were going to go to GitReleaseManager, and we were going to do something, and that something was to update the thingy-mabob, the Twitter message and the Gitter message, and we were going to use the same format as is being used over here on the recipe.cake file. So if we come over here and recipe.cake. So the only thing that I'm now, so I'm a big user, or I was a big user of github.com/, just pull in here. So it's not showing. Oh, I don't have it installed. I'm a big user of Octotree. Octotree is amazing, right? If you've not used it before, it's amazing. It gives you the navigation tree down the left hand side. If you're on a PR, it'll focus it on just the PR changes. It allows multiple tabs to be open when you're double clicking on things. I think my usage of Octotree is now going to go away because of github.dev. So github.dev does almost all of everything that Octotree does, plus you've got an editor in the browser. It's literally there. You get everything. So it's really a shame, to be honest. The only thing, and this is a complete first world problem, is that bringing up github.dev takes a few seconds. So from hitting the button to go into this view takes a couple of seconds to open up, whereas Octotree's just there. It's always there. But things like the ability to have a search index downloaded in cache so that you can search on additional content is just phenomenal. The fact that you can have extensions installed, the fact that you can debug things, the fact, I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. It really is. But I do feel for Octotree because, yeah. So Octotree uses GitHub Search, yes, and that's what I'm saying. So the fact that over here I can enable the indexing, the caching, or the whatever the terminology it was used to use a full indexable search is a huge win over the top of. Yes, exactly that. Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. So what we're doing is we were going to go and borrow this one. So it's 0 and 1 is the version number and the title. So version 0. So that means if we go back over here and look at GitHub organizations, Git tools, Git release manager. So I must have just been lazy when I created the message for Git release manager, because it doesn't include the version number or the title. A new version, comma, 0 of 1, where the title is Git Release Manager. Cool. Has just been released. Get it from Chocolatey, NuGet, or as a .NET Global tool. How do you mean, Francis? Rework of what? I've not played with it personally. I've not been involved in the pre-release, the preview. I've not had it installed. No. I think what I want to do is something similar to what was done here, which was standard message, and then getter is all plus the standard message. So let's grab this, do that over here, and say var standard message is equal to this one. Cut this up to here. And then this is going to be standard notification message, and this is going to be that plus that. Work things to work if it breaks stuff, but if you ain't been involved, that kind of yeah. No, I've not been involved. We've had a couple of reports of certain things in Chocolatey. Not working on Windows 11, but we've other folks in the team have verified that that everything's still working on Windows 11. Yeah, sorry, Niels. Yes, I saw it. I saw your first message, and then I spotted what you were referring to. So thanks for that. But no, I've not been involved in it myself. I'm kind of waiting for it to calm down a little bit. I mean, my daily driver in terms of operating system is still Mac. But what I'll do is I'll probably spin up a VM at some point once the Windows 11 bits are more baked, and then I'll start using that as my daily development driver on my Mac. So I'm going to say that this is a build related commit. Well, actually, we should probably make sure that that build's still working. So let's do build.ps1. We haven't broken anything. In cake script. What we'll do is let's go over to Twitter, go in here, and let's a retweet comment and say here. Oh, what's Jeremy's Twitter handle? Like no. Charlie's got a Twitter account. What's Jen's account? I'd say it's like something, but look, we're close. Northern, no, close. Really appreciate if it was all. I'll tweet that out. Oh, there's lots of red text. Ah, that's known red text. That's okay, red text. Don't worry about that red text. That fixed that problem. But over here, that's the changes. So we're going to say that this is a build related commit going into the develop branch. We're going to say that update our messages to include the version number for the originally I think was possible, but that could get looking at that. Yes, there. Here, I'm still building. Okay, so that was the spelling mistake and the fixing of the messages. What else do we need to do? What else is there to work on in the next few minutes? Origin. What else on? Did any more work gone into here while we were been playing? That's fine. I like that one. Oh, I like that one. Ooh, and yeah, if we haven't done that one, probably do that one too. I like where you're going with this, Nils. Appreciate your work on this. It's one of the there's a few in the pipeline, but if we could get into a routine of doing it, and I know that Augusto's maybe on board with this as well, if we can get into a routine of these are all the things that we want to update to make sure that we're all on the same page, then I would be willing to jump in and help with that. There was originally kind of a what I would have liked to have seen would have been to have like, here's an add-in, let's ship something that's the latest TFM, but I'm also and like the current TFM, and then have another release that is the up-to-date TFM. I'm kind of opinion now that if they're not being maintained, and we want them to be maintained, let's just kind of let's move forward and let's just update into the latest bits. Get them to use cake.recipe if they're not using cake.recipe, so that there's a standard build process, and then using the cake.add-in analyzer, the cake contrib guidelines, pull them in, update to the cake latest cake tooling, or the latest recommended 1.0.0, and let's just ship them. So yeah, cake add-in hackathon indeed. If we can get to a baseline before any of the other conversations that we're having, to get them all updated, I think that would be a great place to be. So I know we're not going to be able to get all of them. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have some of that in like the cake.recipe documentation where we make recommendations along the lines of depend the bot. There's other things like shipping a, what's the terminology that I'm looking for? A deterministic build, so that all of the DLLs in the NuGet package are built with all the flags and switches, so that they're deterministic builds. There's other things like that that I'm failing to think of at the minute. But yeah, if we could have a list of wants and likes and requirements, then I think that would help inform the what Pascal was talking about the other day, where there's like a, this is what you can expect bringing it into Cake Contrib. These are the kind of things that we can help set up, etc. And we get a baseline, and then informs the score that we talked about for an add-in. Does it have all these things for helping with the maintenance, etc. So yeah, no, definitely on board with doing that. And like I say, this one, I know that Richie won't mind us updating this and keeping it up to date. So some of the others, I think we would need to reach out to the maintainer just to get explicit kind of consent. But other ones, I think we could just pick up and move with them. No, definitely on board with that. Definitely on board. But in terms of, I don't really want to start too much more before the evening comes up. So maybe let's just, that won't be ready yet. So it's waiting for caching to expire before it starts attempting the moderation checks. But hopefully this one's done. Yep. Did that. We looked at, that was Francis's keyboard. Go. Smart illumination made smarter. Well, that is pretty snazzy. Give you that. That's one thing the sculpt doesn't have. Multiple viewers. Say what now? MX keys follows your MX Master 3 or other flow-enabled mouse. You can type on what now? How does that work? Follows your. How does your mouse know to go from there to there? Use now. Multiple computers on MX keys. Follows your MX Master 3 or flow-enabled mouse from one computer to another, meaning you can type on multiple devices in one fluid workflow. I mean, I've done that with the likes of Synergy before, but I found that it wasn't always reliable. Francis is saying, haven't got it set up, but did you not use that at the place we met? No. Well, like say it was Synergy that I used. And it worked fairly reliably. But it was just a couple of times it would miss keys, or you'd press the key once but you'd end up with 20 of them. But it was a little app that ran on both machines, and there was a client server set up. You kind of did the handshake, and it would work between Windows and Mac and Linux. Well, and Raspberry Pi now seemingly as well. But it just wasn't reliable enough for me, so I didn't carry on with it. But this seems to have something similar. So, like it. Anyway, keyboards. So we did that one. Did that one. Finish with that. Finish with that. There was PRs that I could look at. Not really in the mood for merging PRs tonight, to be honest. We need to look at doing. Have I got? Let's create an issue for that. Or have I got an issue for that? Ability to specify updates CLI project to drop support for Kim draft issue with blank document. So what we're going to create here was a build issue, which was feature. Why not? Go all that way a second. Take off investigating. Build. Say switch using GitHub as preferred API provider. On all. Curious, did that part work? Git tools. Still publishing here as well. We are, look. And it did update as well, so that's good to know. So 13.0, and it did the the official release as well. That part's working, so that's good to know. Still don't like that it's called package.nupkeg though. I don't know why they haven't fixed that. Did that. Okay. So, in which case, I'm wondering whether I will wrap up a little bit early tonight, because I don't really want to start something that's only got a few minutes to 20 minutes left. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap up early, and I'll have a longer thought about what to do on next week's stream. It sounds like we might try to get in a little bit of a flow with updating Git contrib add-ins. So that's maybe something to look into. Or I still have a pending scope of work, which is to release a new version of Magic Chunks. That would be good to get that part done as well, get it off my to-do list. So I might look at doing that. I'm also playing with some stuff for Chocolatey, that if I can get that to work, that might be something useful to talk about on the stream as well. Yeah, there's a few things that we can look into, but I think for now I'm gonna sign off. I appreciate all the help tonight. Appreciate hanging out as always. But for now, I'm gonna say that's it. So hope you're all staying safe with the COVIDs, and I will talk to you all on the internet. Have a good one.